Right, so we got scared to death in here, and we need to leave. So, I think we need to go back to the suite, because I don't think we have anything else to discuss with anybody anywhere else, so let's go there. Had my dad take a nice photo of me, liked the fit, so... Oh, good stuff! Always nice when a self-photo comes out well. Not in here. So we know Sholmes has taken the files on Clint Van Zyx's autopsy. It's in the Discord. Oh, brilliant! I'll have a look after the stream. Thank you. What if we go back to our room? Here we go. So we're going back to our room. Alright. What do we do, Susato? I'm lost. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigation. I know, but I'm lost. It's just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something where we left this morning. Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong. Oh yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. You're not gonna... That didn't answer the question. You're supposed to say, we need to speak to this person. I think that's the thing this game has lacked, and this series of games has lacked. It gives you this go back to your office and talk to your assistant thing, where you can be, like, nudged along in the right direction, but it's always so vague. And it should instead be a to-do list, in my opinion. They should say, so far we have to do, and then this, this, and this. I suggest we go here, there, and there, that kind of thing. Just a few little hints will be good. Maybe we have to go back to Lord Chief Justice's office. Or maybe we can try to find Mikotoba, because he apparently attended the autopsy. Nope. Oh. Van Zyx is gone. They might have taken him for questioning. The Fresno Street room. Oh, there's something here. And yes, I have a branded energy drink. Many brands are available. Feeling just a little bit need of a bit of a perk up, you know? I don't know why, because this particular one doesn't always work on me, but it's the only one we had in the house, so... They're actually for my niece, whenever she visits, so they have some in the fridge for her. You mean you have a branded heart attack? God, I hope not. The police are still busy investigating in here, then. Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she? She's inside that little box down there in the left. It has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Maybe she's out investigating on her own, practicing what her boss taught her. Well, I expect she'll be back before too long. Shall we wait? Actually... there's something different about this room since the last time we were here, isn't there? We could always use the time to investigate more thoroughly. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at this board again. There are details of cases stretching back over 10 years on this notice board. A history of Lord Van Zyx's defeats in court. I don't think that's an appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it's certainly true, apart from the Red-Headed League advert. But okay. All these people had a background for dubious dealings. And in the end, of course, the board itself concealed the inspector's own death. Oh my, it really doesn't bear thinking about. There was the picture that led us to Daily Vigil. This is the photograph of Mrs. Vigil. Realizing the identity of this lady was a very great clue in exposing Mr. Gossip's true identity. He obviously loves his wife very dearly, which is why he felt he couldn't tell her the truth. Transformation was incredible, wasn't it? From that big twisted lip, he went to the extraordinary efforts to play the part of Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Boone. Not bone, boon. Guys. Boon. Although, it didn't really seem like it was much of an effort to me. Now you say it, I have to agree. It's almost as if Mr. Vigil, that wasn't Mr. Vigil's true character. People really are very hard to fathom at times. I'll click that last. Just see if we glean any new info. If it turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all, where on earth could he have been killed? One way or another, we must find out, for the inspector's sake. Yes, and that of our client. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. When I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. Great. The gun. So this revolver, just who does it belong to? Well, we know it's the type issued to members of the police force and judiciary, but Gregson's own gun was found on his person. And of course, Lord Van Zykes has admitted to losing the firearm which he was issued. Such absent-mindedness, not dissimilar to you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm starting to think the cold hard prosecutor and I could become friends after all. And I wish you every success. And that was the key to the watch. I'd have never imagined this little figure would turn out to be the watch winding key. I suppose it's a policeman because the pocket watch was a gift from Scotland Yard. It seems there was much more to Inspector Gregson than we ever realised. He was clearly a brilliant man. It's the fish and chips that threw us off. I feel as though it ruined his image. I really don't think we should blame one of Britain's staple cuisines. Yes, leave the fish and chips alone, Ryu. But think about it. Imagine if it was Mr. Sholmes. How would you feel instead of that old briar pipe that's always in his hand? Mr. Sholmes had a bag of chips. Rather disappointed, if I'm honest. There you go. Exactly. So, you know, then there's the wig. Still haven't quite solved that conundrum. Was it put on him to make us believe, more, like, make the witnesses believe that was the person that came in the room? And who they saw enter the room, where exactly did they go? Because there's only one way in. And they say nobody came out of the building. Catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it? Such a bright colour, it certainly makes an impression, yes. They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads really stand out like a sore thumb. I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out almost as much here in London. I suppose that's true. You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Mr. Naruhodo. What? No, I wasn't. And the dankness of the lights. Yeah, and then there was the candelabra that has the burnt candle on it. But burnt in a different way. Using a candle as a timer device, very ingenious, I must say. Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set off at 5 o'clock and then left. So that a loud bang was heard at precisely that moment and Lord Van Zykes arrived, yes. If only he hadn't picked up the gun from the floor. Something you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine? It is, again, it is odd that the very first case, Naruhodo was actually on trial for killing Dr. John Wilson, and in that trial, he heard the bang, he looked down and saw a gun sitting right next to him, bent down and picked it up, stood up and realised the guy standing next to him had been the person who just got shot, and everybody was looking at him with gun in hand like, he shot that man! And now, Van Zykes is in the same position. It's like, key tip, guys, if you ever hear a gunshot and you see a gun on the ground, don't pick the fucking thing up! Just don't! Don't go, well, it's a gun. Yeah. And this is before fingerprints were really a thing. I've learnt by bitter experience I would have turned and run a mile for sure. Which may not have done you any favours either. I saw him fleeing from the scene. Yeah. Well, Van Zyke stood around, so it didn't really help him either to not flee. This little trunk wasn't here before, was it? Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs. Is it ticking? There are some initials on the outside, look. TG. Gregson. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here. Oi! What do you think you're doing? That's my trunk, that is. Hands off. Gina. Where were you hiding? I don't know, you leave something unattended for a few seconds and every Tom, Dick and Harry's got his greedy eyes on it. Just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Odo. Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial? What? What you're trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. Always has. Where have you been this last year? Really? Trying not to incur your wrath, mainly. So your trunk with the initials TG on it. Same as the victim's. You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them bludgers. You mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free. The ones prosecuted by Lord Van Zykes, who used bribery and corruption to evade a conviction. Well then obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper given the orders, weren't it? But why would people be suspecting Gregson of being involved in the killings? There was a notebook hidden in his office. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No! Did you see it, Gina? Did you see the notebook? Let me guess, did Mael Strongheart happen to get his hands on it first? They wouldn't flaming let me. Just because I'm an apprentice, apparently. But it was me who found it. And he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh, okay, that's our Gina. So, what did it say? Tell me. Omit nothing. So you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? The way I see it, it's my right to read what he wrote. I really hope there was something in there that was like, this Gina Lestrade they've paired me with will be the death of me, she's terrible. Like, no! What had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, an whole long list of them. All details about the bludgers supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record of the Inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Thank you, Susato! Christ! Why is everybody like, oh, he has information about all these things that happened? Then he must have been the one that did it. It's like, he's a fucking inspector for Scotland Yard. Your first instinct would be he was investigating it, surely. Exactly, that's what I said. But that's the first thing you'd think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognised anyway, while the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? I'm pretty sure the dates against it was the 31st of October. Oh, the day before the Inspector was found dead. What was the odd name? It weren't like a name I'd seen before, it was something like, Nah, it's no good, can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. And kind of worrying? There was something else too, I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over, and yet you can't remember what that was. Ah, there we go, Shin! Shin it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but yeah, it does. Assassin, the assassin. Jazale Brett. Did you say Shin? Eh? What? Does it mean something? Yeah, Lord Van Zyx knew that name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. Now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook. Interesting. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. Day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League, then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Odo? Yes, we did. That was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson. On Gregson's orders. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one that turns something up. I've got my own ways of getting results. Doggy! She's still got the little doggy! When me and my partner here get together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby! Such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, eh? Of course we have. Can't tell you though, police business, innit? Ugh. Anyway, point is, if you lot ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the Hellhound here. Yes, you two who then can't tell us anything because it's police business. I'm sure that'll work out splendidly for us. We'd be flush with information. Yes, because he looks oh so hellish honest. A regular Hound of the Baskerville, that one. Gina, about your Hellhound there. Pick him back up, that's it, put him back on camera, we're not done looking at the Poochie yet. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean, is the pride of the Foreseers. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least. It should be, after all. In the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh? Do we have something of the Chief Inspector would catch a scent of, I wonder? What would we give? The revolver, maybe?
Take that!
Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. Arf! The Chief Inspector said woof to that, Odo. Yes, I heard. I think perhaps that particular item didn't excite him very much. But it's a gun! Everybody likes those! Yeah, I was thinking it's either that or the wig. I was thinking maybe we could find out who owned the gun by him getting a scent off of it, but probably the wig as well. I mean, the wig did make more contact with whoever was wearing it at the time. Right, let's have a think. Nope, pick him back up. We're not done looking at the doggy yet. Pick him back up. There we go. Yeah, it was either on the inspector or the culprit. Yeah, well, we know that the witnesses outside, all three of them said they saw a red-headed man coming into the room, like into the building, and then they saw about 5-10 minutes later Barrett Van Zyx enter the building. And then bang, they heard the gunshot and they came in and found Gregson dead, red wig on, So it gave the impression that he was the redhead that they saw entering. But if he was dead and had been for nearly a day by that point, then it's the culprit who set up the scene that came in with the red wig on to hide the fact they weren't a redhead and to put it on Gregson. You know, then they could leave more discreetly because they no longer have red hair, but the redheaded thing was clearly designed to ensure that nobody would forget. It would create like, oh yeah, couldn't forget that guy, bright red hair, you know, so that's kind of why they did it, I guess. So they would have been wearing the wig, so we'd probably need to use the wig. Alright.
Take that!
Alright, have a sniff of this one. That's so cute! Ooh, he might be a little too keen, don't you think? Oh, the Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Ah! Look what he's gone to. All right, okay, so he was just trying to get past her. I was like, wait a minute. He just attacked Gina? After we got him to smell the wig? Fuck. No, it's the trunk. Clearly has a strong scent of Inspector Gregson. Another theory, the culprit is really a redhead and just put the wig on Gregson to put us off. Yeah, there's that possibility as well. That made me wonder. Like, they could have had the wig in their pocket and stuck it on Gregson's head. In other words, it must have belonged to him. Well, I mean, if this wig has Gregson's scent all over it, I mean, okay, it was on him for a, you know, for a bit. So yeah, probably. Just wondering if he did put the wig on anyway when he was still alive, but maybe not. All right, it's a fair cop, I suppose. He nearly got away with it too if it wasn't for us meddling kids and our little dog. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did you not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, weren't it? Now then, Gina. Eh? I think it's time you told us the truth about the trunk. It weren't like that. It just weren't. What are you talking about? I know what's going through that head of yours, but it ain't what happened. Alright then. What did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. Right? So I let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat, and as soon as I'd done that, it went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich. To a sandwich? Not a bag of chips. Mr. Naruhodo, I believe Gina means the witness. Yeah, the shivering guy. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it hidden between them wooden boards of his, the boss's trunk. Why would he have that? Did Gregson give it to him, maybe? Or did he just pilfer it from the room and they came in and found the body? We know that the other witness did, the woman with the firecrackers. She took Gregson's watch. So you mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot and all piled in here? Exactly! He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the Chief Inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling, and you know what he said? It was a grilled sandwich. I thought it might fetch a good price, and the chap won't be needing it anymore, so... But that's all I did, nothing more, nothing less. Would you Adam and Eve it, the cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog? So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime, then. How could they? So that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, eh? Well, I mean, whatever's in there was in this room when he died, so we need to know what was in it. It's evidence. So maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. I think perhaps the trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? Oh, what are you on about? I am the police. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination on the evidence. Grrr. Alright, let's have a peek. So there's a slash on here as well, look. And one that doesn't extend up to the lid. So it was open when it was slashed. Oh, blood. Blood and mud. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. Not on the underside, but we got blood and mud. Look at the dark stain here, do you think? Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. Ugh, I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes? To think Jean had been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Now here's the thing. If that's there and it goes down to the base, that means it was sitting where blood would have hit the floor as well. And yet... Where's the fucking picture of... What? Did I just go right... Oh, there it is. It's right there. And yet, that's all the blood there is. And there's no line where the trunk would have been. The blood stain goes all the way around. Because they said this blood needn't necessarily be Gregson's. It could be a rabbit's blood or chicken blood, pig's blood. You know, they could have brought a small animal in here and created a pool of blood, laid Inspector Gregson in it to give the impression that he was dead and this is where he was killed. And that's all his blood that came out of him after he went down. So there's that. Let's finish examining this. Let's open it up. So we know now he didn't die here. If that's his blood on the trunk, where was the trunk in this room to get hit by the blood? Not in this room. Let's have a look inside. Whatever is all this? Got a letter. There's something inside. Let's see. It appears to be a passport authorizing him to travel overseas because he was supposed to go to Paris recently, very soon. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Crimes were so much easier concealed before forensics. Exactly, yeah. Perhaps the date of the departure might tell us something. That was... Oh, what is it? 31st of October, a day before the incident. Was he even in the country? Might not have even been in the country, you guys. Could have been killed abroad and brought back on a boat or something, refrigerated on a boat and brought back overnight. What, really? The passport has been entered into the court record. It was issued for travel to France the day before his body was discovered. Well, okay, that doesn't mean to say he left, though. So this is a travel document, in a way. Like, I guess this is before passports were permanent. Like you owned the passport, you had to get a passport to go to a country. So it was like an authorization to travel. And then you surrendered it at the other end, I guess. So it's almost like a ticket in a way, but to get through the border. So that was issued. The fact that he still has it means he didn't get to use it yet. Or maybe not. Maybe he did get to use it. Gregson went to France the day before the body was discovered. Because he was going to go to France. He was going to go there and, Yeah, and look, there's the gash in the trunk goes into the actual thing, look. Holy crap. Oh! Tip of a blade! You see that? There's something stuck inside the trunk there. It's glinting. It's like a fragment of metal of some sort, but it's wedged so tightly we can't remove it. Don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. Interesting. So, whatever it was could have been a slash of a blade. And then it hit in the lining of the trunk and didn't like go any further, and that broke the tip off. And I'm almost afraid to say it. I kind of want Kazuma now to get Karuma out and fully remove the blade to show us if it's broken. We know Kazuma went somewhere on this night as well. He went missing and then suddenly appeared the next day having completed his task that Lord Strongheart sent him on. What if he went after Gregson? Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't like where this is going. Passport number, departure within 1 week from the 31st of October from Dunkirk to travel of police business. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Get a +1 with him. Could he be that twisted, I wonder? Yeah. I mean, if he felt that Gregson was complicit... I mean, well, Gregson, in a way, he has a motive for murder. His father was, you know, pointed at by Gregson. He was fingered by Gregson to be the professor after the Van Zyk's autopsy. He has a reason to go after him. We didn't read these either, did we? We didn't actually look at them. I, Genshin Asogi, hereby request upon my death any and all materials, possessions, and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son Kazuma Asogi in the Empire of Japan. It is with the deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land, in the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path. What's the matter with Toby? He's acting aggressively towards me all of a sudden. Mr. Naruhodo, be careful. It must be the trunk. Oh god, fuck! Oh, Jesus Christ. Toby, oi, what you doing? You're gonna lick his face off. No, not my face. I'm using that. Mr. Naruhodo! Gina, quickly, hail a carriage! And that was the end. He was savaged by a dog. I told you, regular Hound of the Baskerville, that one. Am I alive? How bad is it? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright? It's Susato. Fucking Sholmes, I've got questions for you, boy. Don't you go running anywhere. Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly. It's just that stare. Holy fuck. That was like a roundhouse kick. What is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. He's under the fucking table now. That's it. Get out of here, boy. I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? What's this on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water. Sugar water. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me. Oh, thank you. How sweet of you. So, let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. Yeah, I am sweet enough now. No. The bump on my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. Yes. The only question I have for you, Mr. Naruhodo, is it one lump or two? Oh, no. God. Alright, I'll stop now. I will stop. I have way too much fun here. That's... Whenever you feel ready, then. You, by the way. You! Get over here. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I'd heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment I feared that the infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead. You mean the Professor? Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff upturned collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection. I was that close to death? All I remember is the dog licking my face over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that would balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Sweet and spicy Naruhodo. Alright, so I guess we go down to the suite and chill there. Why would Toby have reacted that way to Naruhodo after examining the trunk? Something they were not quite understanding. What is going on in here? I also thought that little bit of singing was coming from in the house for a moment. I thought it was my dad, because he is wont to break into songs sometimes. It's really fucking annoying. What on earth is going on here? Am I having a bad dream? Ah, no, it's an old German folk song. A rather fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns. I'm wondering why Professor Mikotoba appears to have been assaulted by the tea set, and why the teapot is smashed on the floor. Why Iris is looking so unhappy. Iris? Iris, what's the matter? Who's that sprawling? I mean, that relaxed gentleman over there. That's your father. Iris, is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. Crooning gentleman and a mute young girl, a rather tantalizing juxtaposition. And one that appears to have incited the gods of destruction within me to find their voice too. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about a great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. Oh god, he's gonna do a deduction, guys. Here we go. He turned as white as a sheet. So as usual, you've instantly seen the very heart of the matter. And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel that sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Music Land, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest logical and reasoning spectacular. So here we go, guys. Prepare to be astounded. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly he's a German with no grasp of the English language. Professor Mikotoba, come on. As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. No, the music is coming from the gramophone behind him. So, why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. What did you put in the tea, Iris? Just how much whiskey is in there? You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavour has made the man's spirits soar, and resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. You know, while his mouth isn't moving, of course. I eagerly awaited sampling the flavour myself, that I may join the fellow in this state of elation. And she's like, Now to the next question. Why do I get the feeling she just found out about her dad, though? That we've been hiding it from her, and that's why she's giving us all the silent treatment. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly on the settee? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of Germanic origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. Yeah, but that's Casimir's mask that he's wearing now. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gostrich Sigismund von Ormenstein. That's the name. Remember from the last case? The prince, the Bohemian prince? That was the same name, but I guess it's his father. Yes, the King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question that mask belongs to the King of Germany. It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. A well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of the masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. And now the girl's silence. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable... Yes, you, young Iris. Yes, Germany as a whole never had a king. Yeah, I was just thinking, was there ever really a king of Germany? I don't think so, because, I mean, Germany wasn't like what it is now as a nation. Through the medieval years, it wasn't that, was it? It was other territories. Yeah, after the foundation in 1871, they had an emperor, the emperor and king of Prussia. Yes, that's right. So they're not like, say, France, that you can trace it all the way back to the fucking times of Charlemagne and all that shit, right? They don't have that long of a history because they were other places that were all different places. They first got united in 71, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, it's not like they had like a long-running royal family like England did, you know, like Sweden has, and France and that kind of thing, and Spain. You know, they had long-running dynasties of kings and queens. Your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A £5 note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. And now the final piece of the puzzle. What is the secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah yes, we need only follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. Sholmes is just an idiot. Before it was loads of shitty little states, they had multiple royal families from loads of different duchies and so on. Yeah, that's it. It was like a smaller collection of regional, like, petty kingdoms and stuff, right? Basically, Prussia, oh my god, Austro-Hungary, Hanover, Bavaria, Brunswick, Baden, Württemberg, what is that, Württemberg? Yeah, and a bunch of others. Yeah, they were just loads of, like, what you would call petty kingdoms, right? It's like what Wales was. They were an Ireland before. They were like lots of collections of small kingdoms and small fiefdoms and stuff, and duchies. My favourite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say the handle of my favourite coffee cup? It appears that His High-Spirited Highness broke it in the midst of his high hijinks. Which leads us to the sad truth. My favourite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it for me. I shall have a bill sent via the governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. You put a map in Discord. Oh, thank you. Maps are good. I like maps. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. Sholmes. Well, that was something. Love this expression on his face. With your silence as well, the fellow jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Miss Susato, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. Ah. And you haven't said a word either, Iris. My old co-worker called and talked for like an hour. Hope I didn't miss much. We've only really uncovered a few things. Not too much. Let's see. What did we get? Let's just catch you up there, Urena. So, we did have a little bit of a rummage around. We found Asogi's will, but we can't see how it could possibly be a weapon. He just wanted all of his belongings sent home to Japan, which apparently they were, because that included the sword which Kazuma had, which we were using for a while, and then we returned to him when he arrived. So Kazuma now has that sword, and apparently his father had it with him. We had a little bit of back and forth with him, and we find out that he's basically holding the serious grudge with this whole his father was executed. He believes his father was innocent. So yeah, we've also uncovered that Sholmes hates the King of Germany. Well, now he does, because he broke his coffee cup, apparently. But yeah, we where else did we go? We went to the medical examiner. She changed the time of death now in the autopsy report to indeterminate, if evidence suggests measures may have been taken to disguise the time of death. She suggested that the body could have been potentially refrigerated or frozen after Gregson was killed, and that his clothing would have been removed when this happened, because the only thing that struck her as odd was that in his jacket pocket was some fish and chips, and it had begun to rot. So that's odd. So the body could have been kept chilled, and the clothing could have been removed, or at least the jacket could have been taken off and then put back on when they've staged the death here. So we've got a potential discrepancy there. But she told us that Lord Chief Justice Mael Strongheart told her to not bother looking at time of death or recording it. Because he said, well, the gunshot and the witnesses, it's more than enough to determine that the man was killed at 5 p.m. And, you know, all that kind of stuff. Oh, you remember up to there and then you were gone. Right, so after we went to go see Asogi, we then went back to the scene of the crime and we found Ginny Lestrade. She found this trunk belonging to Gregson. She had her little dog with her. She got him to sniff around Gregson's overcoat, and then that led to the witness, Sandwich, the guy with the sandwich boards. He apparently swiped this from the crime scene when they came in after hearing the gunshot, and then they ran off again. But you were right about the discolor in the fingers. Possibly, yeah. There is a discoloring there, but I don't know if that also potentially points towards being chilled or not, or whether maybe the hand wasn't fully in whatever refrigerated area it was, because the fingers might have been rotting. They may have already gone a little bit funky. Isn't that little state with the key for that trunk? Oh, you mean the little thingy? No, that was for winding the watch. The little police figure. That was for winding the watch. Did she tell us where she found the trunk? Yes, she found it with the witness, Mr. Sandwich, the guy with the sandwich boards. The 3 people who came in and found the scene with Van Zyke standing with the gun over a dead Gregson were these 3 people. They were outside at the time, downstairs in the street, heard the bang from the firecracker, which created the impression of a gunshot, and then they ran up and saw this. This guy, Sandwich, he stole that trunk, and he had it with him because he was going to flog some of the items in it. So, inside Gregson's trunk, well, first of all, there's blood on the side, which goes all the way to the base, meaning this was on the floor near Gregson when he was killed and got splattered with blood. But from the crime scene photo, there's no straight edge where the trunk would have been that interrupted the blood flow. Yeah, Sandwich just suddenly went and stole it. Yeah, he did, exactly. And then there's a gash here in the side of the trunk that goes up to where the lid is and stops. And when we opened it, we found inside a passport issued for the day before Gregson was found dead for him to travel to Paris with one other person, whoever that was. And I've got a terrible feeling who it was, because then we noticed this poking out. That is the tip of something metallic. Looking at that, probably a bladed weapon. And I'm almost afraid to say it, because we know that Asogi, the day before all this happened, went missing. He was gone for a day. Nobody knows where he went. And we then saw him later conferring with Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. And he said something about how he completed his task and returned back to London via the usual via the route they discussed. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, Kazuma, my boy, why did you do it? Yeah, and now I'm wondering, is the tip of Karuma broken? Is Karuma still in one piece? And if not Karuma, is the other sword that he has still in one piece? Because he might have tried to kill Gregson. Because Gregson, of course, fingered his father for the professor murders, pointed the finger at him, like, yo, it's this guy. So he's got a legitimate grudge. But then we've returned back here. We know that the autopsy report for Van Zykes' brother, Clint Van Zykes, is missing. And it could have potentially told us what clue led them to Genshin Asogi. But it's gone. And we know that Sholmes is the one that took them. And now we've returned back here. Iris ran off after learning that. And now we're back here. And we've been greeted with this scene, and Sholmes has delivered a stupid deduction that this is the King of Germany who came here once before in a mask a couple of years ago, because there's German music. Well, he's apparently singing German, but it's not. It's probably the gramophone that's playing. Because Sholmes is an idiot. And Iris is upset and quiet and not talking to us. Yeah, Lord Chief Justice and Kazuma behind it, probably. And it could be that Gregson left the country with Kazuma. Kazuma tried to kill him, refrigerated the body on the ship and brought him back. Could be that. Dunno. We'll see. And probably all on the Strongheart's orders. So, yeah. I think... Well, we know that this is Professor Mikotoba, obviously. And I think Iris is pissed because she found out about John Wilson's death. So let's see. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you may as well own up to it now. She's so pissed. Look at her. Oh my god. That is a pissed little madam right there. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo? Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently. The one you just described, and according to that at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Yes, that's what I thought, because I'm pretty sure that little young von Ormenstein was the Prince of Bohemia, not Germany. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that Bohemia and Germany aren't, you know, near each other. Goodness, was it? I mean, they're kind of roughly, but not adjacent. Yes, that's quite true. Master Gotz the Prince testified to that in court, and his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia, which I don't know is Bohemian accent, but there it is. Yes, that's right. It's well, it's not even the Czech Republic anymore. It's not Czechoslovakia. That's a long old title. They're not even the Czech Republic anymore. They're just Czech or Czechia or whatever. Not sure how they pronounce it themselves. But yes, that's Bohemia now. I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yeah, they just slip in there, those errors, don't they? He doesn't make them himself, they just slip on in there. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit that he might be slightly wide of the mark this time, although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. My favourite coffee cup is no more. I'm so sorry, Sholmes. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular? Here we go. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. So, is this the King of Germany? Alright, so consider the nationality. Clearly he's German with no grasp of the English language, as evidenced by the Germanic song he's singing and his inability to understand when asked to desist. Why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? The answer is Iris clearly is known to you. He glances, but she's glancing at the gramophone. And you'd only follow the gaze of the bright eyes to unravel that particular part of the mystery. The mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. Nope. Yes, it's like, why make it complicated? Just take the mask off the guy's face and be like, oh, it's Mikotoba. I like as well that Susato doesn't even recognize her own father. It's like, oh, it's, what a mask, what a disguise. So what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. And I'd like to hear you sing, but this man? Just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, it's been stock still the entire time. If you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Ah! I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing, but I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. It's the crotch. Yeah, so it's actually, look, it's freaking Mikotoba. Come on. Anyway, let's just get straight to this. So Sato was hanging with Naruhodo way too much and she's become oblivious. Yes, she has. It rubs off on you, stupidity. It really does. Wait, this! It is a gramophone, still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. But machines singing? That can't be right. What devilry is this? Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruhodo. What's right is changing too. Too much for my brain. Well, at least we've found our answer. Yeah.
Take that!
The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, but no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, it would appear that the fellow is unconscious. Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. Thank God. I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? I've stopped trying to figure out why you do anything you do, Sholmes. Never mind, on with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly on the settee? As it happened a number of years ago now, blah blah blah, a certain gentleman of a Germanic origin, not Germanic, Bohemian, required the retrieval of letters he sent to an acquaintance that could have proven problematic. In order to conceal the noble's identity, arrived with a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottrich Sigismund von Ormstein, King of Bohemia. If my memory serves, the mask worn by the gentleman is identical. That's bullshit. There can be no question the mask belongs to the King of Germany. Although we've already established that it was actually the King of Bohemia, it seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with his Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Master Gotz, the boy with whom you had in tears. Don't remind me, or anyone else. Can we just slap Sholmes? Sadly not. No, there's no button for slap. It'd be nice though. Oh, it would be lovely. Do you suppose all those members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. The point is, the mask doesn't belong to a king. No, that's right, as we all well know, because we can identify the true owner of the mask. Yeah, we know that this was Kazuma Asogi's mask.
Take that!
We just kept it as a souvenir after he had his whole return to memory shit. Yes, there can be no question, the mask belongs to Kazuma Asogi. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. Yes. Only you could try and make that sound positive. Kazuma's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days, although that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it's now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We can remove it! We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask and peer beneath it. Finally, we've arrived at the first thing we should have done. We took the long way, but we're here. I don't believe it. Ah! Fuck! Father, I mean. Oh, damn it. I'm afraid, Miss Susato, you must be... No, I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Then it would appear that our logical and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. It took her long enough, like, oh my god, that's my dad! Look, she didn't see him for the first 6 years of her life, okay? This can be excused. This mysterious visitor... She's joining in! Is my unconscious father, Eugen Mikotoba. Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying? There we go. Wait, my father was the king of Germany all along? I'm a princess! Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable yes, young Iris. I've just realised that slipper on the fucking mantelpiece is massive. Alright, you're silenced to hide the truth. Reason for the muteness concealed inside the knapsack. I mean, that is a piece of paper sticking out, but what is it? But that's a £5 note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money we encounter is in coin form. I know, I'm not even sure I've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would never have paid money for Iris's silence. He certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging in his present state. There must be some other reason for Iris's silence, I suppose. Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes is something entirely different. She's got something in her hands instead, I think. I don't know. So, the reason for the muteness is concealed in the knapsack. Or is it concealed in the metal chest? Is it in the Persian slipper? Yeah, there's nowhere else that it could be. Let's look at this. Because it's been opened, look. You can see it's partially open. Oh god. No, Urena. No. Let's not. Let's not go there. This metal chest, it contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of Mr. Sholmes' cases that Mr. Sholmes has worked on over the years, written up by Iris's father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside. Well, its contents are valuable to her, I suppose, and entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Too late Googling Rule 34. No. Ah, so it is. That is hard to ignore. Very. I've never seen the chest unlocked before in all the time we've been staying here at Baker Street. So there it is. Boom. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside the metal chest. An excellent observation. But upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It is kept locked at all times, yet now the catch is open. Evidently this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. She's gonna drop kick him straight into the fireplace. Here we go. No! Hurley, don't! Oh, goddamn! Oh, shit! Oh, there we go. Now we know what happened. Mr. Sholmes! Hurley! No! I think that the logic and reasoning spectacular is done. He did. Never! Oh, Hurley, I told you not to open it. Ah, so you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is... this is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it? Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm gonna have to dance this next part solo. Play me some Billy Idol. I'm dancing with myself. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind. That's all I wanted. Punching Sholmes. Yes. Satisfying. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so You mean you don't actually know the answer yet, despite that knowing point of the finger before? Miss Susato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Remember that. Oh well, if you say so. I think we better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then. Yeah. The reason for the silence. Or why couldn't she open her mouth? What have we got back here? The key. I was going to say she might have been chewing a piece of toffee at the time and got it all stuck in the some of my teeth. I can't open my mouth, sorry. You know, but anyway. That's a key she's holding. Look. I'm sure that wasn't in her hands before, was it? No, you're quite right. It appeared as if by magic. That's strange. A big old iron key. Where did it materialize from? Where did it materialize from? Can't do anything with the shattered stuff. She's got fudge. For some reason, the knapsack is really standing out as suspicious to me today. Oh, is it? It's quite sizable enough for a sizable secret, that's what I say. Perhaps it is, but we certainly can't open it to look without inside without Iris's permission. No, you're right. Who knows what might pop out and punch us? Yeah, and that's probably not a no, but anyway, I think it's the key.
Take that!
Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is the key behind your back. When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before, you didn't have it. Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. Ah! So she had the key in her mouth. Yeah. That something is the key now in your hands, no doubt the key to the chest. You're so clever, Runo. But now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphics demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But Professor Mikotoba also opened the metal chest only to be punched into the air and land sprawled on the settee, complete with the cloth over it. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, all of that was on this kit on this trunk. You know, maybe what if the spring-loading thing popped up and smacked him because it malfunctioned and knocked him up into the air along with everything that was on the top. He landed and everything landed on top of him, including the mask just happened to land on his face. That would be amazing. And the key's all wet now. Yeah, like, ew. Hope you wash that later. Hope it was washed before as well. It went in your mouth. Who knows where that key's been? So why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Clearly an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before the whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikotoba opened the chest, completely unaware of what waited him inside, the mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. The teacup journeyed through the air and ended caught on the unconscious professor's finger. You mean to say the stylish scarf is actually just a tablecloth? This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions. She's like, oh, shit. Would you expect anything less? Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Runo. Thus concludes Ryosuke Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Why do I get the feeling that's not really all that happened? So then, why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for us all?
Objection!
An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. And Mr. Sholmes, if you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction, Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is, from the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. It's really a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup. He won't let it go though. Dude, the cup is broken. Move on. It must have been smashed when Professor Mikotoba opened the chest. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. So she has a cat in her bag, yes. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put our observational skills to work here in one final time. Alright, so it ain't the coffee cup. There is something going on here that she wants. So that's the cup. Attempting to abscond with a coffee cup. No. What is this letter, though? Surely this time, at last, the knapsack is going to be the answer. I'm not sure what you intend on showing Iris's bag to be complicit in these events. Because it's a sizable bag, big enough to carry things around, Mr. Naruhodo. That's what bags are for. Damn. So, the knapsack might never see the limelight, you mean? I really wouldn't like to say. What if it's under the tray? There we go. Ah, look there. There seems to be more papers there. So Iris is trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia. Then the insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's the official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have it? We must ask her. Yeah. I bet these are the autopsy reports. For Clint Van Zykes. Or Zeeks, or whatever. You were attempting to abscond with a case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Thank you, Sholmes. I try my best. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today, and the very disturbing Dr. Gory informed us. God, why is she so creepy? Stop it. Fucking like a living porcelain doll. Oh, it's just fucking disturbing. The autopsy report for Clint Van Zykes has gone missing. Clint Van Zykes? Yes, I do seem to recall. You're not a detective, not even a proper lawyer. Yes, but I'm still better than this clown. Some years ago, I asked to see the reports in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? She's the one that stole them? I bet it turns out she's the one that stole them, and now that we've cottoned on to this and we were going to come thinking he stole them, she's trying to get them out of the house. And I bet Mikotoba came in at the wrong moment or something. You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there, why would she want those? Sorry. Forgive me! Oh. We made Iris cry! I feel horrible now. Just about to write, she reminds me of a creepy doll. She does! Even where she moved then as well, like the slow turn of the head. Like, oh no. Don't do that. That's horrid. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. Maybe you didn't, so... But it caught me completely off guard. That's what booby traps are supposed to do, Sholmes. I was very nearly late consulting Detective Herlock, Sholmes. Oh, come on, it was just a bloody boxing glove. Jesus. I'm sorry, Hurley. So you mean this autopsy report really is... Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? I mean, she wrote the manuscript for The Hound of the Baskerville, and then Sholmes wouldn't let her publish it because, you know, she was forbidden from doing it. And this is all tied into that case, so maybe she wanted it to complete her story? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. The writing. Oh, she wanted it to compare handwriting? Because yes, Dr. John H. Wilson was the one who did the actual autopsy, and Courtney Scythe was with him as an assistant. She didn't actually do the autopsy. No. And Mikatoba was there as well. So the writing. Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris. Must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it? Is he coming too? Oh, I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Ah, father! Daughter of the Year award goes to... Perhaps we should find our guests somewhere more peaceful to rest. Mr. Naruhodo, yes? Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. We wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. There's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. Award goes to the Prince of Germany. Oh, the Princess of Germany, sorry, yes. I wonder. Perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris a chance to talk more freely. We must use the opportunity to talk with Iris and find out what's going on. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I, that Daddy used to be Hurley's partner? Yes, and that notes about his cases they've solved together are kept inside this metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. That's one way of describing it. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. You have a degree in medical science at 10. Fuck. But there was one thing I could never find out. Daddy's name. She didn't know? Well, why was she penning the stories under John H. Wilson? Was that just a frigging coincidence? His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes he'd made about his work with Hurley. Could you not just have asked him about it? But then one day... Oh, right, okay, that's why. She already knew. That's what happened, is it? She saw the autopsy report, recognized the handwriting, and snagged it, thinking, ah, that's Daddy's, and then saw the name on it. But that's why she's been penning everything under John H. Wilson. So when you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out, is that right? Yes. So the handwriting in the report caught her eye. When I saw the writing on the report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. It was the same writing you'd seen on your father's case notes. Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the reports away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time I'd be allowed to look at it in there. So you decided to steal it. When I compared the autopsy reports with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature in the corner at the bottom of the autopsy report read Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last. What? Oh, Stargrace! Hello! It's been so long! How are you? Thank you for that resub with your Prime Gaming! Oh my goodness! How are things? I hope everything's well with you. How's winter treating you over there? I mean, I would know myself, except I'm not there yet. Oh, thank you so much for that resub. Prime Gaming is awesome, guys. You get a free month if you have Amazon Prime and you link it to your Twitch account. You can apply it to any channel of your choice on a monthly basis. You just need to go to any channel and then resub, and that's all you do. And we still get the same as we would from a normal sub, so there you go, you're helping, and Mr. Bezos picks up the tab. Win-win! Thank you a lot, Stargrace, really appreciate it. I see. Ever since then I called myself Iris Wilson, and that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided then and there I'd write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. Can we read the autopsy report, please? We really need to look at it. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. Well, you realize now, Iris, you're going to have to go to jail. Sorry. Must apologize, Iris. This is really all my fault. Hurley, I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorey and apologize, I promise. No, let us read it first! Fuck! Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then, let me look after it for you until we get there. Ah, smooth! It's like, oh, I'll hang on to it then if you like. I've got a bag here I can keep everything in. Let's have a look at it now. Oh, yes, finally. Yes, no, we need it! We need the precious! Coroner Dr. John H. Wilson, victim name Clint Van Zykes, male, 33, British national, time of death 31st of May between 9 PM and midnight. Death from a single stab wound to the heart. Other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Ooh. Recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring finger of the right hand, but no documenting corresponding ink was found. Scarlet ink stains. Interesting. Vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. It doesn't tell me what it is! God damn it! So it's not so much the stab wound. I was wondering if it was like, oh yeah, the shape of the actual stab wound matches, you know, the katana, right? But if it was a duel, yeah, duel. And then, what evidence would you recover from the stomach that would implicate Genshin Asogi? They had sushi together. He could only have been with a Japanese person before. And an ink stain like on the trunk. You never know. Yeah, it could be blood, or it could be scarlet ink. But it's probably blood. Because, I mean, this is Clint Van Zyke's. This is his autopsy report. This isn't Gregson's. And the trunk was Gregson's. So they're probably not related. But still. On the little and the ring finger on the right hand, and no document in ink was found. So he wrote a document in scarlet ink and probably sent it somewhere, and then he was killed. And they had a duel. But it could be, yeah, we don't know. We need to keep an eye out for a document written in red ink. And then we'll know, like, oh. I was just wondering, I mean, that's not been written in scarlet ink, has it? Although there is a bit of red on there, look. I don't know. We'll keep it in mind. We'll file that away for later. I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later. Poor Iris, she must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. The letter that Kazuma got? Well, I mean, he never got that. That's the last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. But it was in Barry Cadin's office in the file. So they acted on the will and they sent his possessions back to Japan, but I don't think they sent this. Oh, you mean maybe the letter that that Kazuma got saying about how Genshin Asogi was the murderer? He didn't say if it was written in red ink, did he? I can't remember. But yeah, the one where they cursed the Asogi name. If that's the case, now I'm thinking, I don't know if maybe I'm just making shit up in my head, but did we know if Barok Van Zyke's writes with red ink? Was that a thing earlier in the game when we visited him in his office in the previous case, that he writes in red ink? He didn't say ink, didn't he? I don't know. We'll keep it in mind, but because if that's the case, and if the letter that Kazuma got was written in that same colour, then that could only mean that Barok did send it. It'd fit if he writes in red since he has so much wine. Well, that's the thing I'm wondering. Like, I'm pretty sure in the last case, we visited Van Zyke's office, and we got to look at that place for the first time, and I'm pretty sure there was something about red ink now. Or we saw something about red ink. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch the VOD, but I feel like that's cheating now. And I won't. Because here's what I'm thinking. If we know that Clint Van Zyke used to pen his letters in red ink, we can assume Barok does the same. And if the letter that Kazuma Asogi got also was in red ink, if that ever comes up in the trial, if that's where this is going to go, then we can say, well, your brother used to write in red ink, you do too. It's a Van Zyke's family trait or whatever, or a hallmark of them. Therefore, you're the one that sent the letter to him, that lured him to England in the first place. Okay, I don't know whether that's an as in like, oh, that's a refreshing cup of tea, or as in like, shit, what's this? Well, how? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. So, you've noticed, I see. But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Miss Susato? Tusa, hello! How's it going, dude? Nice to see you. You've turned as white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing. Oh, here we go. Oh, it isn't Dr. Wilson's at all? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. This writing is my father's. What? Professor Mikotoba? Indeed, it's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. Oh my god! Wait a minute! Is Iris Mikotoba's daughter? Oh! Oh! Cleaning up from the storm. Oh, dude. Oh, I hope you didn't get too badly hit by that. Man. Yeah, you guys are getting hit by some bad weather lately up there. Like, all over the place. Yikes. Yes, Iris and Susato are sisters, maybe. Maybe. Because, I mean, we know a Dr. John H. Wilson is a real guy. But... if Mikotoba is signing this off as Dr. John H. Wilson, that's a whole, and that's, oh god. Oh god. So Mikotoba was actually the John H. Wilson that assisted Sherlock Sholmes all those years ago. Oh god. Just superficial damage mostly, removing the trees, costing almost $2,000 though. Oh, so you have a tree come down then. Aye. I'm sorry to hear, but I'm glad it's mostly superficial stuff. But yeah, the cost of it, the cleanup, oof. Oh dear. But you know, it could have been a lot worse. Some things money can't fix, you know, so yeah. It's half a tree, it's not even your tree, oh no! You've got to pay to clean up someone else's tree that fell into... Oh, wow, that sucks. Yeesh. But now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. I know nothing. What on earth does all of this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. It's slowly forming in his mind. In my mind, it hit me like a freight train. Please, you have to explain. Tell me. So this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible? My dear fellow, pray take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. It does? What? Annie? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended tour of duty in Britain. Iris is 10 years old. So he left one country with a newborn daughter to come to England to study, and then when he was done, he left this country with a newborn daughter to go back home. What a fucking dad he is, yeah? That's the way the law here works, that unless the owner has been made aware that the tree was dangerous or whatnot, it's my problem if it falls on your property. Wow, that is dumb. Oh, wow, that is really dumb. I don't know what the law would be here. It might be something equally stupid. You know, it's like, well, it got knocked over by a storm and it wasn't in a dangerous, precarious position before. It's just, you know, force of nature, etc. It's your problem. It's on your property. You get rid of it. I don't know if that's how it works, but I can imagine it probably does. Probably the same thing here. Whereas if it's a dangerous one that then subsequently falls into your property, it's still their problem because they should have known it was a dangerous tree. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that, dude, but like I said, as long as no actual irreplaceable and, you know, priceless things are broken like people, that's good at least. So prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was completed, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. The Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. Wilson. Oh, okay. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Okay, so hang on, let's back it up. So Iris saw the signature and recognized it as her father's from the reports. From all the case notes. And didn't bother to look at the rest of the handwriting. So the signature is Dr. Wilson's, the handwriting of the notes is her father's. Okay. That's basically what happens, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's similar in the UK since a lot of our laws and tradition derives from English law. Yeah, that's it. It's probably very similar. In Canada, you can easily find a lumberjack to fix a tree. That's true, yeah. When I get to Canada, if we have that problem at whatever house Shy and I end up at, it'll be like, well, there's plenty of people around here with chainsaws, eh? So, have at it. Yeah. I suppose it depends how easy it is for just any old jack to clean up, though, or if it's a big tree, then you need a professional, you know, actual tree doctor or surgeon or whatever they call themselves these days, you know, someone who cuts down trees for a living or tends to them, to come out with proper equipment, rip it up, get it all out of there. And I guess they've got to, if the tree, like you say, if it's half the tree that's busted, do they have to take the whole tree down on the other person's property, or can they leave it? That would need to be assessed, right? And like, well, we can leave the rest of it and it can regrow that part of the tree, but they can't just leave it all ragged. They've got to then clean it off, right? And so otherwise the tree could get mold and infection and it could die then as well. So they've got to do proper things. Put pics in your Discord if you were curious. I'll have a look later. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. The Canadian Chainsaw Massacre. It's just a lot of people running around after each other with chainsaws, apologizing to each other as they cut them open. That's the Canadian Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, so we can back up and back away from the potential that Iris is Susato's sister. Wow, that went fast. Jesus. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. What about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see. And please, come straight to the answer. No fucking buggering about, just tell me. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stories inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where is your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, He lives on the other side of the world. When we're back to that again, back to the John Wilson who died in Japan. But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and we know that that very same John Wilson is the guy that Mikotoba then invited to Japan, and then he died there after Ryu was accused of murdering him. We found out it was Giselle Brett that did it. Yeah, that was Iris's dad. But Mikotoba said he didn't know anything about that. But then again, he might not have, right? He might not have seen the other side of Dr. John Wilson. If the autopsy report was written, though not signed by your famous partner, there would only be one logical conclusion. Pray impress me. Your partner would have to have been Yujin Mikotoba. Oh wait, no, did I get this the wrong way round? I thought they said that Mikotoba wrote the notes and didn't sign it, and Iris saw the signature and assumed it was her father's who did the notes, but it's no. So she saw the handwriting and didn't bother to check the signature. And the handwriting gave it away, because she did say that, but then they said about how the signature was what she would have seen and just assumed the rest was her father's as well. Oh my god. So we're back to that. They're sisters. Which means Iris is also a princess of Germany. Oh my god. I am totally lost. I know, I'm sorry. It's because I got confused as well, so now it's probably confusing all of you guys. Okay, let's back it up. Let's rewind. So, Iris has a chest full of notes from a guy called Dr. John H. Will. No, an unnamed partner of Herlock Sholmes. She always said it was her father's, and his name is Dr. John H. Wilson, and she uses those case notes to write the cases for, you know, the whole, like, Adventures of Herlock Sholmes that is then published in a small print story journal, you know, that circulates once a month. So, she figured her father's name was Dr. John H. Wilson because she didn't know his name, and Herlock Sholmes wouldn't tell her because he promised not to. Until one day, they went and looked at Clint's autopsy report a couple of years ago, and she saw that the handwriting in the autopsy report was the same as the writing in all of those documents in that chest. She then thought, this is my dad's writing. It's the same person. She took the report, she stole it, the autopsy report, and then saw that the name signed was John H. Wilson. That's how she got her father's name, John H. Wilson. And she started calling herself Iris Wilson. Okay, so we're all clear on that so far. Now, what we've learned is, when Susato's looked at this, she's seen that the handwriting of the report, the notes, is her father's handwriting. And the signature isn't her father's. The signature is the actual guy, Dr. John H. Wilson, who worked in the medical center there, okay? In before they used typing machines. Yeah, if they used those typewriters and stuff for this, then this wouldn't ever happen, you know. But yeah, she recognized the handwriting as her father's as well. But that's the handwriting of the notes. The signature, however, would be actually Dr. John Wilson, because there was a real guy called Dr. John H. Wilson. At the beginning of the game, he died in Japan. He had been invited over there by Professor Mikotoba because he was a friend of his from England. Yeah, Mikotoba came over here, along with this guy, the judge, and also Genshin Asogi. They came to learn, you know, how the English do things around their justice system and forensic medicine and stuff, which is what Mikotoba was doing. So, yeah, then he came home. And after that, he invited Dr. John Wilson over to Japan, which is where he was murdered. Okay? Now, we've always figured, since her name was Iris Wilson, and she knows her father, or she thinks she knows her father's name is John Wilson, because of this report, And she's not seen her father's signature anywhere, so she just assumed the signature was the same as the person who wrote the rest of the report, and all the handwriting matches the notes. She figured this Dr. John Wilson was her father. We thought the same and thought, oh, we can't tell her about her dead dad because it would break her heart. You know, we'll find the right time to bring it out. But as it turns out, Professor Mikotoba is her father, it seems, because he was the one who was following Sholmes around and making notes about his cases and helping him with his cases. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you. How do you even do that every time, Freya? I don't understand. Oh my god, even with a stream delay, you time it perfectly. So, yeah, that's where we're at, guys, for those who are totally lost. So we know that the person who wrote the notes in this autopsy report has the same handwriting as the person who was Sholmes' partner. And therefore, that would be Dr. Mikotoba. And if Iris only knew one thing, which Sholmes confirmed for her, which is these are reports from your dad. He wrote these. And didn't tell her anything else because he promised not to. We can assume that Mikotoba is Iris's dad. So we don't have to tell her about a dead dad at all because it wasn't her dad anyway. That's my right now. Yes, it is. So Mikotoba and Sholmes were just shagging young ladies all over the world. Yes, pretty much. But again, when Mikotoba came to England, Susato had just been born. She was a baby, and he fucked off to England. And then he clearly fucked around England, and then as soon as his new baby daughter Iris was born, he then fucking left back to Japan. But then again, he didn't really have a choice there, I think. Yeah. Sounds like a killer way to live. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So anyway, your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. The guy you mistook for the King of Germany, who wasn't even the King of Germany, he was the King of Bohemia. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You've finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you. Oh god, he's standing right there. To my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba! Shit, son! Does this mean you're the real Dr. Wilson? No, my dear. I'm still my old self, Yujin Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. See, now Susato's confused. We have to explain it for you too. God, this is obviously too much for Susato to take in, and she hasn't even pegged the idea yet that Iris is her sister. Gonna be huge when that penny drops. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. Because he's such a dimwit. I still remember the first time we met. Now, pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I'd just arrived from Japan with Seishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation, which is great because that's the original story about how, you know, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson meet each other. You know? It's like Watson was looking for rooms and lodging after returning from Afghanistan. And it's like, yeah, you know, this guy here, he's needing somebody to help share the burden of rent within this building that he finds himself in. Told you she was spending too much time with Naruhodo, yes. Idiocy rubs off on people. I was such a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for a little gain, and again, that's straight out of the novels. And I guess also the BBC series was kind of a modern take on that as well. And the situation of our cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe. It was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. Baskerville. A case in which you become rather familiar yourself, the Professor killings. After the trial, Seishio and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising, given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing! That Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. I think I heard a penny drop. Many great adventures. Is he talking about the women he shagged? Yes. Father. Goodness, my dear. What a cutting look. As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is... You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Of course, I'd almost forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures are in that metal chest and were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. Okay, that's a way to put it. And, as he said before, great detectives are wont to lie. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote those case notes, then Iris's father must be you. Ah. Upon my word, Miss Susato, you are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. You've finally grasped the art of deduction. What? God, does he even know? Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I never really considered. Does Professor Mikotoba know this? Like, wait, whoa, no. Yes, that's it. That's the part. He told her, but not necessarily the truth. Because you notice the pause is like, that is what I told her. It was like, that's what I told her. Like, I told her that, yes. I didn't mean it was the truth, but I told her that. What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care while you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've accepted that, but all this about Iris? Oh, there it is. Susato-san's ice-cold stare. No, now hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is. There it is now. Eyes go from ice cold to red hot just before she... No, really, you've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man. Swear to God if this turns out that Iris is Sholmes... yeah, it's Sholmes' daughter instead. No. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? He's digging his grave now. That's it. It's like, dude, just drop the shovel and walk away from the big hole before you fall in. Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? While we're in the middle of this. Why, my dear madam, is it not obvious my partner and I must pursue our natural enemies? So get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. Wait, what? When did you go and hire a carriage? You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really. I visit our home after 10 long years. And when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. He doesn't even know what happened. And if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all of this. Need to know who the daddy is, I know. Father, please, go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interest. Oh. I trust you completely. Susato. Okay, award for best daughter does go to her. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. Very well then, let's speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day? I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle, and in reaching a decision. Oh yes, oh that's right, I forgot to recap that, guys. Mikotoba has asked a favor of Ryu. He's asked that Ryu consider returning to Japan when this case is done, so that he can then bring back everything he's learned and help train the next breed of defense lawyers in Japan, because they're sorely lacking in the amount of legal representation for people in their new justice system. If they're going to adopt a justice system, they need good advocates of defense to balance the system. About whether or not I go back to Japan.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize.
I think it'd be hard for Kazuma to return. They didn't even say they wanted him to return. In fact, I think they were happy for him to stay in England so that he could continue to learn to be a prosecutor here now, since that's his new goal. He seems to have wanted to take that up now as a prosecutor rather than as a defense attorney. So they're like, dude, he's changed his course and that's cool. He can stay here and keep doing that.
How amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
So yeah, Kazuma will probably be staying behind. End? Are we on to the 5th and final chapter and it's still the same case? What is this nonsense? It's almost like it's trying to perfectly time it. There it is. The resolve of Ryosuke Naruhodo. Yeah, there's one more chapter. Usually, a chapter is a full case right the way through to conclusion. So this is unusual. It turns out that there's 2 chapters to this one case. But guys, it's time. We're pretty much on time actually. We are, 2 minutes overdue for an end, and that's a perfect time to leave it there so we can pick all of this up on the next stream.